بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
The next thing, we'll try to understand the concept of master and agents. So the configuration management tools, whatever we are using, we have two components or two pieces, we can say. The first one is master and the agent. Now in simple, the master is nothing but the device or the server which is responsible for doing the configuration management. So where you have the software installed, maybe it is a standalone software which is running the Linux or Ubuntu platforms, and it is going to the control the clients or control the devices from a centralized location. So typically we call this as a master. So the master refers to a server which is going to control the configuration information, because we are going to push the configurations from this centralized place, or maybe I want to pull some information, probably the network information or the server information, and those devices typically we call them as agents. Okay, so the server is the one, or the master, we call it as a master here. So master is the one from where you actually control the agents. Now again, agents are nothing but the individual nodes where the server or the master is going to manage. Okay, so these individual nodes, we can refer them as agents. Okay, so we call it as, so probably these agents are going to get their own configurations from the server. So whatever the configurations you want to make any changes, like in this example, you can say a router, switch, or it can be a server which has an agent supported, and they will be getting the configurations from the master. So each node we can call it as an agent, where it is going to get its own configuration from the master here. And again, this agent support is only possible when you have this piece of software is present on that particular device. Now remember, all devices, let's say I got a router or a switch or maybe any server. Now this will not become an agent unless and until you have that particular software is installed. Let's say if I'm using a Puppet software, now this will be a Puppet master. And whatever the devices, they must have an agent installed, or they must be capable of reading or understanding these messages between them. So they must be Puppet agent, they must support this Puppet agent software. Okay, so that's what we call as agent based. Okay, so if your devices doesn't support this agent software, probably means you cannot communicate with the master. Okay, so this is something we need to know. So depending upon which program you're using, again, if you're using any other software like Ansible, the process is different. If you're using Chef, probably then there will be a Chef master and a uh, Chef agent, like that. Those options will be present. So the main thing we need to know here is these agents, the nodes or the devices, they must have the agent support. And that agent is totally depending upon what software they use. And then this will be the master and this will be the agent. So this master agent options, probably like the common examples, I can say like Puppet, Chef, and SaltStack are the example of this kind of method. And they use a different terminology. Like generally, if you are using a Puppet, probably this will be the master and this will be referred as an agent. And Chef uses the same terminology. And with the help of SaltStack, there will be like master and the minions. Probably that is a different terminology used in the SaltStack. So whatever the terminology, the concept remains the same. So if I'm using Puppet, probably the nodes must support the Puppet agent, whereas if I'm using Chef, they should support that. So basically, whatever the software you're using, the nodes should support that particular agent software. But whereas the Ansible doesn't use this master agent option. Now Ansible is not in the list because here Ansible basically support agentless. Now that is one of the main reason why Ansible is more used, because Practically, having individual devices supporting an agent software is that may not be possible. So probably the alternative is you can use some agentless option where you can still communicate with the nodes without having an agent software installed on those devices. So probably I'll talk more on this in the next video, where I'll try to differentiate between the agent based and agentless options, how they slightly differ.